Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab. Well, I'm doing what I do for you. I got something nice for you today. Let's rock and roll. Radism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking, mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Excuse me. Knowing thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them too. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake me up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And always, to my yacht, be true. I'm still in the book. I just did the eye of, what's that, Heru. Now we're going to do right thinkers. Let's talk about left eye of Heru, not left eye Lopez from the TLC, my girl. But we ain't talking about her. Had to get that one there. But we talking about the eye, the left eye of Heru. I showed you the picture earlier of the Uraeus up here. This is Heru in Christhood, Heru hood, enlightened. He got the sun disk over his head and he wearing the Uraeus. They call that his halo. Okay, that's Heru. What's that? Ra Harakti. Okay, that's the enlightened spirit of Heru. All right, this book is getting beat up, but then I got some more for you at the bottom. Let me get this out the way. That's the eye right there. That's the eye, that rock right there. That means I know myself. How about that? I'm conscious of who I am. So you see that? That's the reason why I sport it. Okay. Then you got another page over here. You got eyes of Heru right there at the top. I'm gonna break that down for you, each one, 164th. And then you got the eye of, what's that, Krishna, and the eye of Buddha. So everybody had eyes, but the eye signifies something. It's symbolic. Okay, so let's get to that. Just the lesson today. Let's have some fun. All right. Now, remember, the left eye of Heru symbolizes, we all doing symbology. Our ancients spoke in symbology and esoteric language. Understand that. So let's go. So the left eye of Heru symbolizes the power of what? The God of light. The light, that spirit, that's where it comes from. That's the concept. Again, all symbology. But it implies that one, what, has attained all the qualities as personal, as personified by Heru. All the aspects of your character, I gave that to you, climb the tree of life. You have to fulfill each one. In doing so, you will reach that level of what? Self-enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment, nihas, Christhood, Horushood, whatever you want to call it. But that's how it's done. It's telling you right here to be personified by Heru. That we have what? We have vanquished the enemies of who? Asar, which is who? Our father. Who the ego, which is your uncle, which is your father's brother, which destroyed him. Your mother taught you one thing. And even your father came and told you, don't let this guy do to you what he did to me. Take him out. That's the story that was set in Heru. But the father is always Asar, which represents God. Okay. But the idea of ignorance, egoism, these are all qualities of Set. Selfishness, disharmony, mental agitation, etc. from ourselves. These are the qualities that you have to eradicate, destroy, kill, whatever you want to, but not the ego itself. It's the qualities of the ego that you want to take care of. Why? Because the ego will serve you if you put it in the position to do what it does. That's why. And that's why self-mastery starts with what you control all these aspects of yourself. The right eye, okay, the one I rock, of Horus, is also known as the eye of Ra. Watch this. The Uraeus, and it represents the sun. Ra, spiritual energy. You hear my man Prana, in China they call it Chi. That's the breath or the spirit that's in all of us. No matter what you call it, it's still the same thing. And the left eye of Horus, or Heru, the moon, that represents Isis, the female aspect, the mental power of understanding, having intuitional knowledge, meaning use what you have within you because that's where it lies. Okay. Now, at once, Heru is the synthesis of what? Spirit. Again, life. Sun, the light that's in us. And body is the moon. The moon is the first solar system. Why? All day long, it's sucking up what? Sunlight from the sun. So at night, it could shine. It don't shine on its own. It's need illumination from the sun. So at night, when the sun's gone, the moon stands in. Okay? You can't have one without the other. So the moon represents night. Okay? But it gets its power from the sun. And it is the power. What's this? The body, the moon. It is the power to what? See the way beyond spirit and matter, which is absolute reality. The symbol of the two eyes of Horus is what? Is the most ancient and having existed in pre-dynastic time. You ready for this? Dating back to 10,000 BCE to 5,500 BCE. And that's all unrecorded information that they don't give you. Why? They don't have it. They don't know it. They go to 3,200 BCE. But at that time, we had already been taken over by the Ptolemies. Moving on. A little quick lesson about history. But we got the authentic concepts of God and spirituality. That's what I want you to understand. And you can still practice whatever you practice. This is just going to help you along the way because you may have some questions about whatever they say. This is what it is. And what happened? It carried over into the philosophy. What's this? Who adopted it? The Hindus has the eyes of Krishna. I showed you that. And the Buddhists had the eye of Buddha. And the eyes signify and imply a form of vision. Our third eye is the spiritual eye. It ain't the focal eye seeing, but it's a form of vision. Watch this, which is a state of consciousness, and it's beyond what? Ordinary. It's beyond ordinary human perception. A lot of people won't see it. This is why they play the game with a whole bunch of ignorant society and the masses. They know y'all ignorant. They just throw stuff in your face. They just show you everything, and you ain't got a clue what is going on. Moving on. In the intervening time, when Set, watch this, which is the ego, has stolen Heru's eyes. He gouged out his eyes. Symbolically, it means it took away his vision of what? Unity. He took away Horus' vision of unity. Heru, therefore, watch this, he saw the world as Set did, through egoistic vision, which is what? Through the state of consciousness, ignorant consciousness of what? Forceful, brute. He cut his mother's head off in the fit of anger. That's ignorance, okay? He suffered through that. And what's this? With unbridled emotion. You got a bunch of young men in prison because of just that. Can't control that emotion. And for one split second, they lose it. And now they got to pay a lifetime for that one split second of emotion running them. That's not good, young people. Unbridled emotion and passion and more egoism. Heru, what happened? He lost the light of what? Intuitional vision. He lost himself, caught up, what? In his feelings. When a man get emotional, you should walk away. Why? You ain't gonna function well. Why? Women do better under emotion. Men ain't good at emotions. That's why, because you're gonna act. Women's gonna yeah, but men, y'all get physical. We get physical. It's gonna be y'all. At a certain point, I'm going to only take but so much before I respond. Women, they don't care, but that's the concept. And when you get like that as a man, you're going to do bad things, watch this, and regret that action. Watch. Now, he loses intuitional vision of what? The sun. And he was dominated by what? The moon, meaning his earthly self, his bodily self, his passions, his ego upset. Again, just trying to break it down to you. I know this well, which clouded what? His mind, and it impedes your higher thought. You cannot function under emotional duress. Don't care. If you ain't maintaining, if your heart rate ain't comfortable, ain't nothing going to work. The ancients used to do this. Calm it down. I do this. I push it down. I suppress it. Why? Because I want it to get under control. Put it down here. Put it under me. I don't want it over me. I want it down here. Why? I don't want it running me. Things down here don't run nothing. What's up here is what causes the shots. So when it impedes your higher thought, your right thinking, and your intuition. So therefore, understand this. The Satanian body consciousness is all run by ego, and the vision is all hostile to who? Ra. Your spiritual vision, and must be, you ready? Must be fought against. Your ego must be fought against until what? It is controlled, supplemented. Put your foot on his neck. Stay there until I need you. Okay? As a parent, you put him on check. Stay there until I tell you to move. George tell you, when I say jump, you squat and ask how high. To stay there until I tell you to come down. Okay, that's control. That's what you, but over your oneself, not other people. That's the problem. We want to do it. No, start with you, and then you work outward. It's stated, watch this, in the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day in chapter 23. Again, Satanian wrong thinking is your greatest force. That's what? Holding you back, your soul in a state of what? Ignorance, aka bondage. You are your worst enemy. Until you realize that, you're going to continue to go round and around, aka recycle. But at the end of the conflict between you and your lower self, Heru and Set, what happened? Set's brute force, his arrogance and his egoism is now supplemented, put in check through what? Tahuti, which is wisdom. When you get smart enough and realize, hold on, I ain't playing that game. And my pastor tell me, you can't wallow in the mud with the pig and claim not to be a pig. So he got wiser. I am too. That's my point. And that's what you're supposed to do. And what happens? His physical force is now directed where? To the service of Ra. I showed you the picture where they're on the boat at night going to the underworld. His best fighter, his number one dude is Set, your ego. It will fight to the end. It's the honey badger of spirit world. Why? He ain't giving up and he ain't afraid to fight nobody or nothing. Everybody else scared to death of Apophis. Apophis is the giant serpent, okay? Got him coming up too. He's in there somewhere. But that's the concept. So get back to the lesson. Okay, I'm good. But the whole idea is for you to gain self-mastery over what? Your ego self. And now you put him in what? The service mode. When I don't want to do something, when I don't want to get up sometimes, I tell you, okay, ego, I'll let you lose. Why? Because you're going to drive me. You're going to push me. Even when I don't want to be put. So you don't want him in control unless you will let him have his way. Well, other than that, you don't want him in control conceptually. And most people don't have a clue about their ego. This is me. This is how I am. Yeah, it's ignorant and it's wrong. And it's also still your ego. Moving on. Get knowledge. And then talk what you got, some sense. Just because it's you don't make no sense when it's wrong. Sorry about that. Now, getting back to the lesson. What happens? You have to fight off what? Okay, submit through Tahuti, which is wisdom. And his physical force is now directed to what? Service in the Ra. Watch this. And to them, that is the most prestigious position where? At the head of the bark of Ra as the Ra's protector of who? As he transverses the heavens. No, that's in the daytime. He don't need Set for that. So all day long, it's just Ra, Tahuti, and Maya. They just chill, there ain't no problem. But when the sun go down, yo, fellas, let's go. Wow, you know the deal. And they do this every day. Each day, now, That's what they do. But Ra must do battle when? Every night with who? Forces of darkness. Who would like to do not more than stop Ra from what? Shining. So that's his mortal natural enemy. These forces, again, I'm going to break the eye down in 1 second. Let me read this out for you right quick. But these forces headed by who? Yeah, my boy, Apophis, okay? The great giant serpent that he's so big, he surrounds the earth 3 times and a half. Don't forget to have 3.5 times. That's how big he was. And to see him, everybody wet the bed except Set, which is your ego. That's why you don't want to destroy him. Without him, you got a snowball's chance to go up against the prophets, the real bad guy. So watch this. Once Set, your ego is what? Under control through what? Wisdom, experience. He is now seeing what? Doing battle against Apophis in order to what? To protect the bark of Ra. That's bad man, okay? Why? That's who you want fighting for you. You want that berserker. You want that crazy guy who will run through walls for you, but you want to keep him under wraps, so to speak. Everybody got that tough guy, okay? Everybody got one. That's where it comes from, and that's your ego. How about that? Now, in this manner, what happens? Our physical nature, our brute animal force, must be placed where? At the service of what? Your spirit. Your higher self should control that nature, that lower nature, that crazy. Let him loose when you need him. Again, I'm turning him loose when I need him. Other than that, he got no say-so. Stay. Training a dog, same thing. Anything you want to train, it should be at your command. You should have your ego under your command. Simple as that. Moving. I got one more paragraph to go. I see the clock. Let me wrap this up. And the whole concept of division of either the sun, which is spirit, or the moon, which is matter, they go together, yin and yang, alone represents a dangerous imbalance. You can't have one without the other. For spiritual consciousness alone will negate physical existence, and physical consciousness alone, egoism, negates the spirit. So they have to what? Work together. So therefore, a balance. There we go. That's why you see me do this. The balance must be achieved in order for what? For both spirit and matter to what? Coexist in harmony. This and this. Heart-mind coherence. I love it. That's my side. I'm going to drive that home for y'all. But this is the vision of who? Heru? You? The protective vision, which is all consciousness, which understands that what? The mystery of the spirit and that of matter are one and the same. That the underlying basis of each one is the same reality. Why? Because the eye of Heru therefore represents the vision, that reality which goes beyond, again, the sun and even the moon, spirit and matter, because the eye of Heru is the third eye, the protector from what? All evil. To possess the eye of Heru, that is what? The vision or the consciousness of Heru is to possess all things. What? To see all things. That only can happen if you become one with who? The all. See where I'm going with this? I hope so. I'm almost done. Taking it home. Fear. Again, fear. We know anybody who don't have fear, we think they're crazy. No, they just don't care. Fear in the wrong way is the bad thing. It can lead you fear, false evidence appearing real. So you create your own fear. But watch this. Fear comes from what? Ignorance. Ding, 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 ding. I don't have no fear. Why? I know myself. So I'm not ignorant of who I am. So there's no fear. And ignorance, what comes from what? Wrong thinking and believing that the world is what? Composed of separate objects. This is that, that's this. Objects, creatures, and even human beings. And from identifying with the body and believing oneself to be what? A mortal, a human being. Personality. And seeing, understanding all things, there is what? No fear. No fear here. Why? I know what's going on. I ain't no fear means again, I'm not ignorant of myself at all. No aspect of my character. That's what true mastery is all about. That's what you strive to do. And you'll understand. I ain't fearful. What, death? You scared dying? No. What? It's gonna happen anyway. What's the fear? Okay, moving on. Again, ignorance. Believing. Oh, they say that. What do you know? Don't tell me what they say. What do you know? Make your own mind up. I'm trying to get you to do just that for yourself. Why? Because fear, because when there is no fear, why? Because there is no ignorance. With self-knowledge, there is no ignorance. There is no fear, no false evidence appearing real. Ooh, the boogeyman, you know better than that nonsense. All things are only what? A manifestation of who? The all. One's innermost self, who is still the all. So therefore, you cannot hurt yourself. You is really immortal. You're really immortal beyond spirit and matter. So therefore, there is no need to fear who? Death. I just told you. Thus, the eye of Heru is the greatest protector of what? Protect against ignorance and nonsense that stunts your growth, stunts your spiritual growth and your physical growth when you need to do what? The best for yourself. So eradicate the fear about what? Getting knowledge of self. That's the concept. That's the lesson. I got more, but I'm going to stop right there because I got some things to do. So hope you enjoyed the lesson. And in closing, I'll be back. May you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. I forgot to do the eyes. I already know that now. I'll be back with more lesson on the eye. How about that?